Hello, May class, and welcome to your next English lesson. In today's lesson, we will be boxing up the story map that we have been reading through and learning together. Remember, when we're boxing up, we are using the key ideas out of the text map and placing them in the box up, not using full sentences, just rewriting the whole text map again. So before we start, can you please make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil so that we can write up our box ups. We will also be looking at using adverbs in our sentences. So let's read through our text map again, just to remind ourselves about what it's about. How to build an empire. Are you interested in building your own empire? Do you lie in your bed dreaming of ruling over a kingdom? Do you see yourself conquering tribes and building a colosseum? If so, the likelihood is that you are destined to be a powerful ruler. Do not despair. Help is at hand. Building an empire is not as hard as you think. Read these step-by-step instructions, and soon you too could be the ruler of a powerful empire. What you will need: an army, land, weapons, shields, and good walking shoes. What you have to do: first, you should carefully train your army in the art of warfare. Secondly, you must bravely lead an army across the sea to a new land. After that, fiercely invade the lands, plundering and murdering those in your way. Now you must make sure that you defeat anyone that tries to stand in your way. Rule over your kingdom proudly. Important note: please remember, in order for your empire to run smoothly, it needs a strong leader. A common issue that these leaders face is the threat of unexpected death. Try your best to avoid this and rule fairly over your people. Otherwise, you might be assassinated. So the previous lesson, we briefly looked at adverbs. Adverbs are used to modify the verb, and they will often tell you the manner in which something is being done, how often, where, and why. So adverbs answer these questions. They answer how, when, where, to what extent, and why. So what I would like you to do is pause this video now and complete these sentences using the adverbs that have been placed in above. So you will see that these are the adverbs that we've been given. So I would like you to use these adverbs in sentences so that you can complete these sentences below. So pause the video now and do that, and then we will work through the answers together. Okay, let's check. Now, one or two of them may have had more than one answer, and that's okay. What you need to make sure is that when you read through your sentence, that the sentence makes sense. So the first one, let's have a look at our adverbs first. The adverbs that we've got there are slowly, anxiously, honestly, recently, heavily, lately, last weekend, highly, never, nearly, sometimes, always, usually, rarely, and today. So I have want to watch that movie. So I would put that the answer to that one is always. Okay. Something, I competed in the running race. So could we say slowly, anxiously, honestly, recently, heavily, lately, last weekend, highly, never, nearly, sometimes, always, usually, rarely, today. So it could be a few answers. You could say last weekend, you could say slowly, but you can also say, and it's the start of a sentence, so we could say today, there's a comma, I competed in a running race. So something changed schools. I anxiously changed schools. I recently, heavily, lately, last weekend, highly, never, nearly, sometimes, always, usually, today. We could say I recently changed schools. Sorry. I recently changed schools. Jill waited something for them for over 5 hours. So she waited, and it'll probably be how she waited. And I think the best one there would be anxiously. So she waited anxiously. And then sometimes order takeout. Order takeout for dinner. So sometimes would work, rarely would work, always would work, never would work. So you can choose one of those. I'm going to say we rarely. But make sure that those sentences make sense. So read through yours now and correct them if they need to be corrected. So this is the box up that we're going to be working with our class text at the bottom. Now you can see from this that we're going to be working on the introductory paragraph, what I will need, steps, imperative verbs, adverbs that we could use, an important note. So we are going to be planning, we are going to be boxing up the text map that we have got. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the fact that it says to us, our introductory paragraph. So in our class text, we can see that it actually says, are you interested in building your own empire? Do you lie in your bed dreaming of ruling over a kingdom? Do you see yourself conquering tribes and building a colosseum? If so, the likelihood is that you are destined to be a powerful ruler. Do not despair. Help is at hand. Building an empire is not as hard as you think. Read these step-by-step instructions, and soon you too could be the ruler of a powerful empire. So already looking at that, I can see that I have included rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions. I'm going to write it. I'm going to zoom in actually. Sorry. So that we can work on this together. So rhetorical questions. We've also got the short snappy sentences. We have also got that, oh, I've managed to rub all of this out. So let's just do this again. So rhetorical. Questions. Short, snappy sentences. We've also got the technical the technical vocabulary. Okay, we've also got the fact that it then introduces us to what's going to be said. Would you want to be a ruler? And remember, when we are doing our box ups, we will focus on what's being included, and then we will use examples of it. So in that, we've used the word empire, ruler. We've also introduced the fact that it's step-by-step instructions. Step-by-step instructions. We've asked rhetorical questions to get the reader thinking. We've used the short, snappy sentences, so do not despair, help is at hand, and we can write that, although I've run out of space. Rhetorical questions, short, snappy sentences, so do not despair. All of that. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is pause the video, and if, for example, if you aren't able to print this box up and it's going to go up onto Tapestry, or it should already be up by the time you look at this lesson, I am going to show you what to do when you do not have something that you can write on. So just like we would normally, we're going to have a heading of introductory sentence or introductory paragraph. And then what I would like you to do, if you are unable to print the box up, you will write the headings and then you will underline them with a ruler. I don't know why it's not working. Let's use our pen. Okay, well, you would underline it with the ruler. It doesn't seem to be working for whatever reason it is. And then what you would do is you would, I can do it like that. So I've underlined it. And then I would write my keywords and things that I would need in my introductory paragraph underneath here. So you will list the things that are needed and the examples. So just like I said, short, snappy sentences, we could write short, snappy sentences, then do not despair. We could write the rhetorical questions, and you could show me an example of one of them. So pause the video now and write down the key things that you would need for your introductory paragraph, please. Okay, so below or in front of you, you can see that I have tried my best to write on our whiteboard. It's a little bit harder for me than with a pencil, so it's a little untidy because I'm trying to write using one of these. But you can see that I have boxed up some of the ideas that we have in our introductory paragraph. I haven't just rewritten the paragraph. I've written down the key things that we have in it and that I would want to then include in my paragraph when I'm innovating this. So like I said, we've got the rhetorical questions, we've got the short, snappy sentences. I've listed the technical vocabulary, some of the vocabulary that we use, and I've said an introduction to the writing. So in the black, you can see the main ideas, and in the red are the examples that I have used. In the next paragraph, you are going to be looking at what you are going to need. So what will be needed, get this down here. So remember, after we've done our introduction, we talk about what we will be needing for us to be able to finish this task. So we can then write another heading if you don't have the box up of what we will need. Okay, and remember this again is the tools, and you can write this underneath there. So I just need to, there. All right, so I'm going to rule my line. So again, this is the tools you will need. Tools needed for task. And I'm happy with you just to write that, because for each task, you will use different tools. So what you need to build an empire is not going to be the same thing you would need to take over the school or to escape the house. Those will be different tools. So each of the tools will be specific to the topic you are writing about. So we don't really need to write that, because we just know, you should know that what you'll need is whatever they have listed as the tools that you will need for that specific topic. So for this one, we know it was a strong army, good walking shoes, because if we learn more about the legions, you'll know that they walked for many, many hours. So those are the kind of tools you will need to be able to build your army or build your empire. So so pause the video now and complete that section, please. Okay, once you have finished that section, you can go on to the next section. I'm just trying to get my screen back. There it is. The next bit is the steps, as you can see. Now, these steps will be obviously what you need to follow in chronological order. So again, we can write that they are in chronological order. We could say here that they are in, sorry, why is it doing that? Chronological order. You can list here, if you would like, the fronted adverbials that you could use. So first, well, the ones that are in there, I've spelled that incorrectly. First, then next, after that. Those are the fronted adverbials of time that I've used. And obviously we would write our imperative verbs, but we have got a space for our imperative verbs here. So read through the text like we did before and list the imperative verbs that we have in the text map. As you can see, I've listed the imperative verbs that we have there in our steps. So I've got train, lead, defeat, rule, invade. So I'm going to stop there. And what I would like you to do is to complete the box up of this class text for me. So I want you to think about the adverbs that we have used in these sentences. We have gone through what an adverb was. We did briefly do a short exercise. So reading your steps, can you find the adverbs that are in there and list them into our box up? And then I would like you to box up what's in the important notes. Think about how we boxed up the introductory paragraph. Think about how we didn't write out the whole paragraph, but we took the key ideas of what needed to be included in that, and we used some examples of what goes into that. So can you please complete that for me? So your tasks for, as I mentioned, remember that you are not just remember that we are just writing the ideas down in the box. We are not writing out the whole text. If you're unable to, like I said, print out the box up, please write down the headings and write out the information under them neatly, like we have shown you in today's lesson. So this is what you are boxing up. You are boxing up your introductory paragraph, what you will need, the steps, the imperative verbs, the adverbs, and any important note or any extra information that you would like to add on in the end. So these are your 3 tasks that I would like you to complete in today's lesson. The first one is to box up the original text map. So our text map about how to build an empire. I would like you to box up the ideas and what goes into it into our box up. I would then like you to pause the video and complete the adverbs task below. So I've given you a paragraph and I've said, let's edit this paragraph together and make our own writing more exciting. Make sure to add adverbs and adjectives. So making sure that you are including the adverbs into these sentences so that the sentences don't sound boring and that we have more descriptive language in it. And then the last task I would like you to do is hang on a second. The final task is to explain in your own words what adverbs do to our sentences. So I want you to think, what do the adverbs in our sentences do to the imperative verbs? So we have got the imperative verbs tell us what to do. So they give us an instruction. What do the adverbs do to those sentences? What do they do to the imperative verbs? Don't forget to share your work with us on Tapestry, please. Make sure that it is all put online by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Make sure that when you are laying out your box up that you keep it neat and tidy, please. Make sure that your headings and your subheadings are underlined so that I know what you have boxed up in each one. And make sure that you have got your spellings correct, because you do have the text map to have a look at. It is a little bit further up in your video, so you can refer back to it. So please make sure you're please make sure you're spelling the words correctly. Would also like you to make sure you are focusing on keeping your handwriting neat and working. And even though you're at home, making sure that your presentation and everything is kept neat and tidy. If there's any problems, just let us know and we will try and help you as best we can.